Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the Grow Your Life podcast. My name is Jeremiah Krakowski. I'm excited. This is our last podcast before Christmas, then we head into the new year. This is going to be great. I want to talk about how to stay motivated, especially as we go into the new year and going through the holiday. How do you keep that motivation going for you? So one of those things that a lot of people ask is how do we do that? In fact, I guess this podcast went live on Christmas Eve, so there we go. Well, to stay motivated, motivation is fleeting. That's one of the things, is you have to really ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I actually building my business? What is my reason for doing so? It needs to be bigger than you. It needs to be bigger than just, oh, I need to make some money. Oh, I want to have impact. It needs to be about a vision of where you're going. And so here's what is going to help you. Number one, get a vision for the life that you want to live. What is that life that you want to have from your business? A lot of people are burning themselves out to kind of create the kind of money that they want to make, and they are not living the life that they want to live that's designed the way that they want. They're just going through the motions, and then they wonder why they're struggling in their business. I meet a lot of people that they're not making the kind of money they want to make, and they can't stay motivated to do the work in their business. So you got to have that vision for the life that you are creating above all else, because what's going to happen is when you start to believe, that thing's going to start to happen for you. When you start to get a vision for the life that you're creating, those things start to happen for you. And I'm going to tell you this, you need to start declaring, you need to start speaking into existence, and you need to start saying and affirming, this amazing, beautiful thing, wonderful thing is going to start happening to me. Even if you don't have evidence of it in your life in 3D reality. And that's one of the things that I'll tell you for myself. For the longest time, I used to go based off of just what I could see in front of me. And my motivation would be up and down, up and down. Now, I'll tell you, is that I get a vision for what I'm creating. I get a vision for what's happening, and I believe that it's going to happen. Now, I've been in this industry long enough that I can tell you that this works. I've been in this long enough that the people who can truly see it coming to pass before it actually happens, and they hold on to that vision, they're the ones that are successful. And then what you do is you take self-discipline combined with a vision. That's what motivation is the motivation comes when we discipline ourselves to do the things that we know that we need to do. You know, recording this podcast every single week, we got a lot of episodes of this. I don't feel motivated most weeks to make the podcast. But what I do is I get a vision for the impact. I get a vision for the message that I'm going to be talking about. And then I start recording and I get excited about it. And now the motivation starts coming when I actually start taking action. So here's what happens. When it comes to motivation, the science behind it is that if you start doing the work, you start doing the stuff that you've been putting off, the motivation will start to come in after you do those things. Now, here's another thing that can help you with that motivation is not just doing the work, but also taking care of yourself, getting enough sleep, eating well. I take a number of different supplements. I work out. I eat really well. And I'll tell you, we have a brand new born baby. So sleep is a little bit of a thing that's like I fight for to get my sleep. But it makes a difference. And for you, number one, take care of yourself, take care of your health, take care of your physical body. And then number two is see in your mind, what is that life that I'm creating? Write it down. Make it tangible. Put it on a piece of paper. What is the house that you want to live in? What is the type of bank account that you want to have? What's that credit score that you want to have? What is the impact that you're going to have? Who are the people that you're going to be helping? And by the way, I'm preaching to myself here when I say this, because I still have to remind myself of this. I have a dream and a vision for the types of clients that I want to help. Thousands of people that I want to help them become millionaires. And sometimes it becomes demotivating when I start to see people not applying the things that I'm teaching. And then I say, okay, well, what can I do to help be a better leader to people? How can I help lead people better? And I come and I look at it from a perspective of what can I do to grow in that skill set? So another thing that you can do that can help you with your motivation is when we grow in a skill set, we start to believe that it's going to happen for us. Sometimes the reason why we lack motivation is we lack skill and we don't know what we're doing. That's why getting mentorship That's why in my coaching program, the Client Growth Accelerator, I mentor people every single week on how to get results, get more clients, get more leads in their business, and turn things into the positive, successful financial results that they want. And so if you're somebody that you're going out there, you got a vision for your business, you got to do the work, and you got to show up, and you got to do the hard things. And the hard things, sometimes it's not sexy, sometimes it's not exciting, sometimes it's not what you want to do today, but it's worth it. And it's worth continuing to show up, staying consistent, and doing the work. Motivation is fleeting. Consistency and self-discipline will keep you motivated. Now, I will say this. Don't just keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to get a different result. That's the definition of insanity. We don't want to do that. We want to say, okay, this didn't work. Okay, what can I learn from this? What can I apply? What can I do differently? And that's going to shift things for you as well. When you can learn how to do things a little bit differently, when you can learn how to apply them just subtly differently in your life and your business, it will produce those different results for you. Okay? So again, this is a real simple pep talk. It's not a long, drawn-out podcast episode, but I'll tell you that these are some of the things that I've learned that have helped me. And then another one is that take a look at who are the friends that you're spending time with. Are you spending time around people that are demotivating you, that are making you feel doubtful that you can do it? They don't believe that you can do it. They're starting to speak against the stuff that you're creating. Maybe it's your family. All these factors come into play. Are you watching news media? Are you scrolling social media? What is influencing your brain space? We got to take account for those things. If we're lacking motivation, we got to take account for those things. Now, here's another thing too. When it comes to motivation, a little bit of the science behind this, and this is something that I think that will help you, is sometimes we become addicted to very high dopamine activities. Things that trigger high dopamine in us. And so when it feels like we're not getting the results that we want, it's not triggering that dopamine inside of us that makes us feel like it's getting a payoff. And so then we end up feeling like we're doing the wrong thing because we haven't trained our brain that sometimes, and this is one of the biggest things in business, you're not going to get those big dopamine payoffs while you do the work, and you might not even get it when you take action. You might not get the results right away, but you got to learn to stay disciplined even though you're not getting those triggers, those things that give you that high that happens. Like a slot machine. I think a lot of us, we have this sort of like a gambling slot machine approach to our business. And then if we get all sevens, then everything's great. But the truth is we're not going to get that all the time. And you got to keep playing the game. And you got to realize that it's not always going to work out. But that's why you got to say, okay, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to continue and I'm going to keep moving forward. And when we can learn as well to kind of reset our brain around dopamine, one of the best ways we can do that again is not spend a lot of time scrolling social media. One of the things that you can do is, again, if we ground ourselves, if we take some time away from media and things like that, it'll actually reset those different receptors in our brain to where we then end up getting that payoff from doing the work. And here's the thing. So instead of expecting the big dopamine payoff from the results from your work, shift it to where you actually feel that dopamine payoff from doing the work. And you start hacking the dopamine receptors in your brain to where doing the work itself creates the reward center in your brain. You start feeling the reward of doing the work versus the reward of the big payoff and the big outcome. And that will actually hack your brain science in a big way. It really will, to where you start to congratulate yourself just for showing up and doing the work, and that will help actually motivate you, because then you become motivated to get the payoff from doing the work. All right, so all of these things combined, these can help you, and I hope that they will help you. I'd love to see you in my Client Growth Accelerator program, where I can help hold you accountable and help you get the results that you want in your business. Grow your life, everybody. We'll talk soon. Have a good one.